Right now, there is the wackiest legal battle I've ever learned about going on in the shadows. There's a secret war between major food brands and the FDA, mainly cereal producers like General Mills and Kellogg's, because the FDA is proposing new guidelines on the term healthy when it relates to things like their cereal. And under these new potential guidelines, their cereals would have to erase that term from their marketing. And they're not too happy about it. They're wiggling their fingers saying, no, no, no. We have a First Amendment right to free speech, which they have been using for years to effectively lie and mislead their customers into thinking that their cereals aren't bad for them. Free speech is a beautiful and sacred, wonderful thing that plays no role in this corporate greed and false advertisement. I think it should be obvious that corporations can't just make shit up and make any claims they want to, just pull random, like, nonsense claims out of their ass for their products in order to sell it. Like, there needs to be some truth to the claims. Like, this is not a free speech issue. This is literally just bad business practice and fucking lying. Alleged lying. I want to make it clear. Alleged. General Mills and Kellogg's have been fucking shaking their fists and wiggling in anger at this whole situation. I don't want them to get mad at me, too. Alleged. Take a peek at this puppy. Fruity Pebbles and Lucky Charms threaten to block healthy food labeling guidelines in court, saying it limits their free speech. The proposed FDA rule mandates that foods labeled as healthy must contain a major food group such as dairy, fruits, or whole grains, and must fit certain limits on saturated fat, sodium, and added sugars. The rule limits cereals, for example, to no more than 2.5 grams of sugar per serving in order to be labeled healthy. A restriction food manufacturers claim would exclude over 95% of ready-to-eat cereals. Holy shit, yes. What? Which is great. That is good news. That's huge. It's about fucking time. I couldn't tell you the amount of people that for some reason are brainwashed into believing these fucking labels that their goddamn Frosted Flakes or whatever are healthy for them. It's nuts. That is long overdue. Among the most vocal food companies are producers of high-sugar cereals which are largely marketed to children and have been criticized as a driver of the obesity epidemic in America. Because they are. In a joint filing made last month, the largest cereal producers in the country, General Mills, Kellogg's, and Post Consumer Brands, decried the proposed nutritional criteria and threatened to file a lawsuit challenging the guidelines as a violation of corporate free speech rights. You absolute slimy worms. Corporate free speech rights to lie to consumers. We have a right to say whatever we want to sell our product. And how dare you try and strip that from us, even though it's a blatant lie. Most cereal, like Captain Crunch, Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms, Fruity Pebbles, are not healthy. And that it's a complete fucking sham and a joke that some of those boxes have that term plastered on there. In the cereal industry, the word healthy has less meaning than the word literally. It is completely devalued because they've been able to skirt these guidelines and get away with labeling things like fucking Lucky Charms as healthy when it's not. It's there for one purpose and one purpose only: to mislead customers into thinking that what they're purchasing isn't bad for them. Even though it's nothing but a giant fucking sugar bomb. You're purchasing just a ton of sugar. And for some reason, they've been able to call it healthy for a long time now. It's very deceptive. It's literally just false advertisement. And I don't think that's slanderous to say. I don't know if General Mills and Kellogg's are watching this, but I don't think that's slanderous. There is tons and tons of research to indicate the role that high sugar shit like cereal plays a massive role in the obesity epidemic that America's been experiencing for quite some time now. And finally, the FDA is doing something worthwhile of stepping in and saying, it's about time we restrict this a little bit more. You can't just slap healthy on anything you want to willy-nilly. We're going to stop being so loosey-goosey with healthy. From now on, it's going to need to adhere to stricter guidelines. I'm actually surprised they didn't double down. Instead of calling their foods healthy, I'm surprised they didn't try and say, like, doctor recommended Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Number one pediatrician recommended Fruity Pebbles. Like, really go hog wild on trying to mislead people into thinking it's good for you. They did go hard on fortified for a while, saying it's fortified with crucial vitamins and minerals and all that. But I feel like they could have gone even more hog wild with it. What about protein cereals that cost like $8 a box? You're getting into these really fringe cereals I don't know about. I can't tell you which are healthy and what aren't of the ones you're listing. All I'm saying is I'm agreeing that 95% of these cereals would absolutely be wiped from the healthy label because they're not. Like, they're straight up not. The sugar that's present there isn't like natural sugars either most of the time. So you can't even make it the argument that, like, oh no, but what about the cereal with 30 grams of sugar, but it's all healthy sugars? Because that's never the case. The rule, if finalized in its present form, the companies wrote, would be open to legal challenge in that it violates the First Amendment by prohibiting truthful, non-misleading claims in an unjustified manner and also exceeds FDA's statutory authority in several ways. It's so frightening that corporations can bully an organization whose sole goal should be the safety of the products that we consume on a daily basis. Prohibiting truthful, non-misleading claims, but that is the exact opposite of what these claims are. Slapping healthy on Fruity Pebbles is an affront to God. The organization contend that the healthy labeling requirements are an unconstitutional overreach of government power. Food companies, the Washington Legal Foundation argued, have constitutionally protected commercial speech rights covering their ability to use the term healthy to describe their added sugar products. This is terrifying. This is just scary. What the fuck? Nobody should want a world where corporations can pull claims out of their ass without ever having to prove them or verify their authenticity or ensure that the claims are truthful. That is a horrifying world. They could literally be boxing up poison and selling it to you with a smile on their face and with the word healthy slapped on the box, and nothing would be done about it. They are fighting tooth and nail to defend their right to literally fucking lie to customers about how healthy their foods are. They are not, by any stretch of imagination, by any definition, healthy. And yet they've been able to get away with using that term for so long that they refuse to let it go. They become so accustomed to lying to their consumers that they are now throwing this massive public hissy fit, this legal battle. The FDA, the Washington Legal Foundation wrote in its brief, cannot explain why consumers cannot make their own healthy decisions based on nutritional labeling data. Rather, it seeks to limit the food company's speech. Oh my god, it's like listening to someone cry victim on Twitter, but from a corporation. What are you talking about, man? You're just blatantly lying on your products. Obesity's on like an absolute astronomical come up, and you're slapping healthy on some of the foods that are a big contributor of it. What are you talking about? The group does not disclose its donors and did not respond to a request for comment. In previous years, the Corn Refiners Association, a lobby group that represents the high fructose corn syrup industry, has disclosed financial ties to the Washington Legal Foundation. Can't believe that. Drug companies including Purdue Pharma, the makers of OxyContin, have used the Washington Legal Foundation to challenge government rules and establish legal precedent to reduce the ability for prosecutors to seek criminal charges for drug company executives. You love a story with some heroes you can root for, like the Washington Legal Foundation fighting for the little guys, like drug company executives. The joint filing from cereal manufacturers not only scorn the labeling rules, but also argue that sugary cereals pose no health risks and are in fact beneficial to society and childhood health. Love that. What a great claim. The company stated that they view the extremely strict guidelines as alarming because cereal is one of the most affordable, nutrient-dense breakfast choices a person, adult, or child can make, with a wide range of options to suit different cultures, preferences, and tastes. Cereals, the companies claimed, are already recognized for nutritional benefits, given their inclusion in a range of federal programs that serve the nation's vulnerable populations, such as the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, and the National School Lunch Program. This is so foul. It's candy in the morning. It is literally candy in the morning. And yet they're here with a straight face saying that it's nutrient dense. Well, it is one of the most nutrient dense breakfast choices a person, adult, or child can make. and saying that it poses no health risks and is actually beneficial to society and childhood health. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. Next, they're going to argue nutritional facts are unconstitutional. Yeah, we shouldn't have to say what's in our cereals. We shouldn't have to say what's in our food. It's to protect our right to privacy. Oh man, this is so fucked. How does this just keep getting worse? The company's charged that cereal delivers on nutrition when eaten alone, but when consumed as part of a breakfast, it elevates the nutrition further, with cereal eaters exhibiting an overall higher diet quality. As evidence, the filings cites a 2019 study conducted by in-house researchers employed by General Mills, the maker of Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Trix, among other brands. They're doing it again, right in front of our face. Do you guys remember, and I've talked about it a lot, but some of you might also remember, there was a period of time, not that long ago, like 25, 30-ish years ago, where the entire America, all of America, vilified fat. They said the fat in our food is making us fat. This is why we're getting obese, because of fat in our food. And sugar was actually looked at as the good guy. Those studies were paid for by companies like this that were trying to placate their responsibility for the contribution they played to the obesity epidemic and put all of it on top of fat. And they're doing it again right here in 2019, trying to make arguments that eating cereal actually helps eaters exhibit an overall higher diet quality, I guess. That's so crazy. Oh, the agency, they wrote, should recognize the beneficial role of sugar. Sugar plays a role in foods beyond palatability. It controls water activity, creates texture, adds bulk, and also contributes to flavor complexity. We are literally going back in time. Literally going back in time. They're trying to make sugar a hero again. Sugar is actually really good for you. It is healthy to eat 30 grams of sugar in the morning with our cereal. Independent research, however, have found that diets high in processed foods and sugar intake are linked to obesity, diabetes, higher risk of stroke, obesity-related cancers, hypertension, and dental diseases. You don't say. You're telling me that the research that wasn't paid for by the actual sugar-producing cereal company said something totally different? That I just can't believe.